Get your daily dose of encouragement. Welcome to the Daily Dose with Coach V.
Great evening and welcome back to the Daily Dose with your host, Coach V. This week we are discussing thankful as a mindset. Now this month we've discussed give thanks as our overall general theme, but remember this is not just a theme for us, it is an shift, right? It is a transformational change that we have all decided to partake in, or at least we hope you've decided to change the way you think, to make giving thanks to God, to others around you, and even being thankful for yourself, a way of life, and not just a seasonal adjustment, but an actual change, one simple moment at a time, right? So this week, as with every single thing that I'm tasked, assigned to share, talk about, minister through, teach through, train through, we walk through it, right? We walk through it first. Not that I had not ever walked through these things I'm teaching. That's how God has given me the different tools that I share with you all. But he always has a way to make sure it stays fresh with us, right? So I know the importance of mindset. I teach it. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't become challenging for any of us, right? Especially during this time. So this week in America, I know some of you listen from other countries. And in America, we are celebrating Thanksgiving this week in about 3 more days. But let's just be honest about it. Thanksgiving, holidays with families and family and friends isn't always the easiest thing, right? So this week, what we've done here at Minding What Matters is we've dedicated we're dedicating this week to strategies, gratitude, and BOGOs. So we call it SGB, strategies, gratitude, and BOGOs. So we're going to share some strategies throughout this week on how to not only transform your mindset and have it be more, have a mindset of gratefulness as you walk through your life, but also just sharing some tools with you on how to deal with difficult times, situations, and how to keep your mindset in a place of gratefulness, even when you might not be in an environment that you're grateful to be in. So the Bible talks to us about being content in all things, to be content. So I want to make sure that I address at the beginning of this week that contentment in no way means that you have to trade off wanting more, or desiring respect, or requesting or requiring respect, nor does it mean that you have to put your boundaries, lower your boundary marks, or settle or shrink in the presence of others. What contentment means is just what we've talked about all month, which is to find gratitude in your heart, no matter what the situation. Our first scripture coming into this month talked about how we were to give thanks in all things. He didn't tell us to give thanks for all things, but to do it in all things, which means no matter whether your situation is good or it's sucky, whether you've got a bunch of money in the bank or you broke, to find it in you to be grateful, to give thanks on purpose, right? So today our title is Let's Fight. And what we're going to address today is how to fight with your words and not your feelings. See, feelings are real. They are often indicative of hurt, trauma. They can also be, feelings are good feelings, love, and all of those things. But feelings in no way, though we should acknowledge them, process them, we should never ever allow them to be the thing that determines anything for us, or that drives us, that helps us make our decisions. Like, our decisions shouldn't be just based on feelings. Now, I'm not talking about discernment. Discernment and feelings is 2 different things. Discernment is when you can perceive something in the spirit, whether it's right or wrong. Like, you can perceive things. Sometimes you know something, but you don't know physically because someone came and told you, but because the Holy Spirit revealed it to you. And so you have revelation, and then you're able to discern revelation, right? So we're not talking about that. Feeling and discernment, 2 totally different things. But when we allow our feelings to drive us, we can often make decisions, say things, all kinds of things that we look back later and regret. I learned as a little girl that I would rather be quiet even if something someone has said has hurt my feelings, and especially when I'm crying. So like, you can pretty much say whatever, just don't put your hands on me and don't mess with my kids. Like, that's who I am. I'm real cool, and I can handle, like, I can make the choice to not be offended. And not saying that I have not ever been offended, because sometimes people wake up in the morning and that's their only job, is to try to offend you. And so some things happen, but I've been able to learn, and God has given me the gift, and I have not perfected it. But I've taught it to my children to choose to not be offended. And how we do that is we process our emotions. We admit that, hey, what you did was offensive and it hurt me, but then we make the choice to forgive. Now, forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation. Forgiveness also doesn't always mean that I don't check you. It just means that I don't hold it. I don't harbor it. I don't allow it to become bitterness. And I don't allow your choices or lack of integrity or whatever it is to change my character and to destroy my life through bitterness and hate and unforgiveness. Like, we've got too much joy, too many blessings. God has been too good to us for that, for us to just hold fast to that, right? Sometimes we need a little help walking through it. We coach people through those things, right? We counsel them and all of those other things. However, we don't want to be the thermometer. We want to be the thermostat. See, the thermostat sets the temperature in the room, but the thermometer just reads it, and it's gauged based on like what's happening. So whatever's happening, like the temperature goes up or down, but the thermostat, it balances the room. And you want to be that thing, the person who can give words that balance things, right? Now, we're not assigning you to fix people's issues, problems, or to make things better for someone else in the room. We're just going to share some strategies today that are going to help you while you walk through this holiday season, while you walk through any other challenging time of your life. So when we say let's fight, that means let's fight with our words. And we don't mean words that will destroy and tear people down. As I was saying earlier, as a young girl, I learned that it was better to maybe be silent and process my emotions than to have to come back and apologize for something that I said to someone in a place of anger, or when my feelings were hurt. Because the thing I learned as a young girl, being on the other side of the harsh words, is that though the person or I or whomever may apologize, and the person says, I forgive you, I accept your apology, but now you've left them with the wounds of your words. And so those wounds take time to heal. And so often we are taught that, hey, when we ask someone forgive us and they forgive us, then it's never brought up again. No, I might need to talk about that thing. I might need to let you know that you said something that triggered me to make me feel like I can't trust you again. So we want to make sure that we are, again, being the atmosphere setters and not the ones who, when we walk into an atmosphere, we're shifted and changed, and we change at our core, and we're living our lives in a place of disarray emotionally because of a particular location, or where a particular individual or a group of individuals are in a room. So here are the tips that we're going to share with you today. The first one is to decide what your end goal is. Begin with that in mind. You need to know what your goal is, how you plan to remain at peace. You need to set your mind to that. You need to know that, hey, no matter what happens, I am going to maintain my peace regardless of external factors, right? The next tip that I have for you is to be ready. Prepare your heart, but not for a retort or a response or a clapback, right? But for some understanding. And then you can decide to not be offended, as I spoke about earlier, recognizing that other people's behavior does not reflect your heart, but theirs. And it is not a gauge or a determining factor of your worth. The thing I've learned is that when people are on purpose trying to offend you or trying to make you feel small, it is because your largeness, the vastness of your anointing, your person, your personality, and who you are bothers them for some reason. It could be because they are failing to become who they should be, who God has called them to be. They don't want to be anything more than what they have, and so they resent people who do. But regardless of why people try to make you feel like try to make you feel small or make you feel like you're not important, what they think about you is irrelevant. What they do is irrelevant. It literally does not hold the power to change who you are, and definitely not in God's sight. And so the thing I've learned too about life is that I am who I am. And what I mean by that, I don't mean that I can just be whatever and I never change. No, not at all. What I'm saying is that I am who I am, meaning wherever I go and whatever I do, I am me. Now, I may not sit and chit chat like I do with my close friends in public or when I'm presenting or speaking. I will speak articulately. I will articulate my words properly. Not that I don't do that when I'm with my friends, but sometimes there are things that, you might just shoot the breeze, as they say, or used to say. I'm with your friends. You can't do that in certain rooms because you're there on another level doing something different. I don't mean those kinds of things when I say we need to be genuine to ourselves and being ourselves. What I'm saying is that when you get me, whether I am teaching, preaching, praying, coaching, whatever it is, you're getting honesty, you're getting integrity, you're getting kindness, you're getting love, you're getting all of those things. Those things are the core of who I am. You're getting my love for people because that is who God created me to be. So no matter what room I'm in, no matter what position or title I'm holding at the time, no matter which one of the letters behind my name is in effect, I am still Vivian. I'm still going to show up being who I am at the core of me. I say that because I learned that in my life, I've learned this, that because I am who I am, if someone is easily swayed by someone else's words to change their mind about me or to be incited to talk about me, to do evil towards me, then I'm taking no loss of that person not being in my life or giving their words about me no weight because they don't deserve weight. So you have to learn again that no matter what someone is saying, to decide your end goal is peace. My end goal is I'm going to stay steady. I'm going to stay rock steady, right? No matter what you say, do, how you look, your tone when you talk to me, I'm going to stay steady. And then I'm going to be ready again to try to understand you. Doesn't mean that I'm going to excuse your actions. It just means that I can have some understanding without tolerance of mistreatment, disrespect. That understanding, that choice to be ready to understand helps us in the area of not becoming bitter or being in that place of where we struggle more to forgive. And I say struggle more because sometimes forgiveness is harder than others. If somebody stepped on your foot, it's a little more easier to forgive them than somebody who jumped your child and beat them up or who stole your car or who shot you or whatever. So the certain forgiveness it's a process and it takes time, and it can take time no matter what the situation is. For each person, it could be different. Something can happen, the same type thing or the thing that something that looks the same can happen to two different people at the same time, or two people can be in a room and an event takes place, and it's going to take one person longer than the other person to be able to walk through the process of forgiveness. So we're in rooms, we want to show up and let our behavior be a response of the core of us, and to not let someone else's lack of integrity cause you to not operate in your own. So our next step is to prepare. Adjust your expectations and focus on controlling only yourself. So I've been in this Bible study. I have several Bible studies that I'm in, and a couple that I'm actually finishing up that I've written. But this particular Bible study is called Unoffendable by Brent Hansen. I picked this book up because this is something that I've taught my kids their entire lives. When, you got kids and sometimes they're going to fight, somebody's going to hit somebody else, and you say, hey, yes, he did it on purpose, but you can choose to not be offended because you don't want to let whatever he did ruin your entire day, week, month, whatever, and you're upset, right? So I picked up this book thinking like, hey, I want to, as a parenting coach, is there something else I can share with my clients and their children and just people in general when I coach? And what I learned is that though I taught my kids the same thing, there were some things that were just opened up to me, some revelations. And one of the things that Mr. Hansen said was this. He said, stop having an expectation of someone who is either not capable of giving you what you want or has chosen not to. And he talked about how he had this friend. They were getting ready to go to his friend's house for family member's house for the holidays. And the friend was talking about his uncle and something his uncle had done on the way there. And so his friend was upset, like he was pissed, like he was angry. And he told him what his uncle had done. And then Brent said to him, he says, well, what caused this? Like, how long has he been behaving this way? And he said, my whole life, all 48 years of my life. And Brent said, well, then you're not surprised that he's done it. Why are you appalled by this person's actions? When you lose that expectation, you're no longer appalled and you're no longer disappointed. Sometimes it's the disappointment when someone doesn't meet our expectations. Maybe they didn't know them, and maybe they did know them, but they just don't care to keep them. But you have to not judge a person based on their potential or ability to be able to act right, or speak differently, act differently, show people respect. We can't hold that as their standard. We're going to judge their fruit. And I know you might think, well, we're not supposed to judge each other. We are definitely supposed to do fruit inspection. You can't come and tell me to how to stay faithful to my spouse and you cheating and sleeping around on yours. I'm gonna examine your fruit. Not that if that was something someone was doing, they shouldn't be told it's wrong, but you want to be able to examine the fruit of a person, right? So I can't come and tell someone here how to respect their children, how to instruct them properly to make sure that to build up their kids' self-esteem if I'm tearing my own children down. And I wouldn't listen to me as your parenting coach if I'm not parenting my children properly, even my adult children. Because, see, once our kids become 18, we don't stop being their parent. And, at least in the African-American community, you're often taught, well, when you're 18, oh, that's it. It's really not. Your kid is still a kid. They're still trying to figure out their life while also trying to be grown and trying to let you know that they are grown. So at the end of the day, when they become adults, you have to just try to figure out how to parent them differently. So your parenting literally starts all over again. Yes, the one who was like, oh, I thought I was going to have a break. No, it's going to start all over again because now they're at an age that you can't technically make them do stuff like you would make them do stuff when they were younger. And when we attempt to control people, which I am back to the step 3, that's called manipulation. And manipulation is not something that we want to be involved in. It is not a place that you ever really win or have a victory in, even if you get the person to do what you want, because even though you got them to do it, you lost your integrity. Just because they did it doesn't mean they respect you. So consider being prepared to adjust your expectations of others and choose focus only on yourself. And then the last one for today is to fight with calm. Let's fight. Use calm responses to uphold your peace and to set your boundaries. So when boundaries are necessary, whether they're through words, silence, or just stepping away from a situation, keep your peace, keep your calmness, because healthy boundaries may feel awkward, there may be some awkwardness there when you are setting up a healthy boundary, but allow the awkwardness to be the other person's for whom you had to set the boundary up for in the first place. Don't take on that awkwardness. And then as you're walking through this time, this week, this day, this evening, remember to take a moment to write down 3 things that you are grateful for. They can be big, small. It can be that your spouse got time off for Thanksgiving. It can be that you got to read that book that you wanted to read all year. Whatever it is, give thanks for that thing. Thank somebody who's done something for you today. And then this last part of the SGB is our BOGO offer. So if you have been considering a coaching session with me, Coach V, then today is the perfect time. It's Monday. Every day this week, we're going to put out a BOGO, and then that BOGO is going to be in effect for 24 hours or until midnight of the following day. And so today's BOGO is for individual sessions. So you can use that personal sessions. You can let it be mental health coaching sessions. You can allow it to be a parenting coaching, whatever you want it to be. However, when you purchase or invest in yourself within the next 24 hours, you're going to get a free session to go along with that. So basically you're getting a 2-for-1. All right. How do you take advantage of that? The link is here in the description to this video. Thank you again for being with us here at the Daily Dose. I've enjoyed it as always. Love and prayers to you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you for joining us at the Daily Dose. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share with others.